Christian Keys, an actor, writer, and TV producer, shared his story on Instagram about how a well-known billionaire had sexually harassed him for well over a decade. He joins the likes of Terry Crews and Brendan Fraser, coming forward as male survivors of sexual harassment in the film industry.
Unfortunately, offer these things, and some of them are your heroes. Some of them are people who y'all like, oh yeah, such and such is amazing, and he does this and he does that. Yeah, but he also does this and that. The month and the year that he showed up to my apartment and offered me $100 grand to take my clothes off. He said,
His heartfelt expression of how this person who is well loved by many had invited him to engage in sexual behavior on multiple occasions, in which he refused. While having had a troubled childhood himself, Christian reported that he had been in situations like this before in his youth and had to stand up for himself and file reports. However, this brings up a compelling topic on how having these types of experiences impact the mental and emotional health of an individual. So, what are some effects of sexual harassment on people that experience it? Sexual harassment can have profound and lasting effects on an individual's mental health, contributing to social anxiety and depression. Trauma and stress. Trauma and stress are major sources of anxiety. Sexual harassment frequently results in trauma. The contribution to mental health issues. When one experiences long-term stress, it can cause mental health conditions including depression and anxiety disorders to arise or worsen. Emotional distress. Being the victim of sexual harassment can cause emotional distress, which includes emotions of helplessness, remorse, and humiliation. These unfavorable feelings have the potential to hasten the onset of mental illnesses, especially depression. Decline in self-esteem. Sexual harassment can have a negative impact on a person's sense of value and self-worth. Social anxiety can be exacerbated by a weakened sense of self, which makes it difficult for people to engage with confidence in a variety of social contexts. Anxiety about social situations and isolation. People who have been sexually harassed might retreat from social settings out of anxiety, guilt, or fear. This is problematic because social isolation can exacerbate social anxiety, which makes it challenging for sufferers to enjoy and participate in life activities. Problems with trust. Being the victim of sexual harassment can lead to a severe loss of trust, particularly in personal relationships, including romantic relationships. Some of the issues that arise contain that the formation of strong, supportive relationships can both be exacerbated by a lack of trust in other people and ruin future relationships as a result, causing conflict. Obsessive thinking and unsettling thoughts. Individuals who have survived sexual harassment could be plagued by intrusive thoughts and continuous rumination on the terrible experience. This can cause problems with anxiety and depression brought on by persistent thoughts about the occurrence, which can have an adverse effect on mental health as a whole. Being sexually harassed can interfere with a person's ability to focus at work and perform effectively to advance in their profession. As with Christian, he feared repercussions to his career. Stress, anxiety, and depression can all be aggravated by professional struggles. So, what does Christian plan to do with all of the evidence he has surrounding the mysterious, unidentified billionaire who kept harassing him? Check out this clip and let us know what you think about sexual harassment and how it impacts people in the workplace and everyday life. Did you enjoy the discussion? Subscribe to the channel.
there's a trauma that comes with being bullied and intimidated and sexually harassed like that. And And the bad part is when the truth comes out, a lot of y'all in here gonna be like, man, I don't believe it. And you can watch me on whatever news station. I'll take polygraphs live on TV. You can hear the recordings yourself. The person has a very distinctive voice when they offer me $100 grand to take my clothes off. The person has a very distinctive voice when they literally sexually assault me and try to grab my private parts, and I'm blocking their hand like, what the fuck are you doing? And he's like, oh, my bad. And tries to do it again. Some of these people are y'all heroes. Some of these people y'all have deified and set up on a stool or on a stool. It's taking everything in me not to say. But I promise you this. I will promise you this. As an executive on a show, I'm grateful for this person for showing me how not to be. When you're the boss, how not to be. You don't sexually harass your employees. You don't pressure them, bully them, try to intimidate them into what you want. I am grateful for that lesson. I'm glad that God sat back, because not only was he watching to see if I was the person that he thought he had made, but he was letting me see who I am. And I'm grateful for it, because it let me know, and that gave me a lot of my bravery. I thank God that he just sat back and watched. It's going to be a conversation really soon. And it won't be a conversation or accusations. Again, I let the statute of limitations run out. It's never been about money. My concern is that this person is still doing it. Still a predator. And it's not okay. And I wish I was brave enough to speak up back then. I was worried that he would get in the way and try to interfere with my work and try to blackball me, because he couldn't ball me. Pun intended.